Well, hello. Here we are in part 4 of our Easter devotional series. We've been going through the book of John, going through chapter 13. And where we last left off, it's Passover. Jesus is gathering with his disciples. Judas had just left to go betray Jesus. And there's this line at the end of verse 30, it was night. This means darkness is coming, evil is reigning. Jesus has a short time with his disciples. Let's pick up on verse 31. When he was gone, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself, and will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and just as I told the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come." Now pause. Jesus saying, disciples, listen up. We only got a few hours left. I'm going to share my heart with you. These are the things that I want you to remember. Look what he says. "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." Now, I try to imagine being one of the disciples here. Just a few days before, you had this entering Jerusalem where people were waving palm branches and declaring Jesus as their king. There's momentum. If there's any time that Jesus is going to claim the kingship, it's now. And the disciples got to be thinking, okay, Lord, what's the game plan? What's the bold new strategy? Are we going to launch this grand advertising? What are we going to do to capitalize on the moment? And what did Jesus say? Love. Love one another. Okay, Jesus, love, but there's got to be more than that. I mean, what's next? What are we going to do? Love. It all comes down to love. You know, I think about us. We hear love so much, we kind of become immune to it, to forget how critical this is to our calling as disciples. I mean, Jesus even says, by this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. That is what's supposed to set us apart. That our love is supposed to be so great that it attracts other people's attention and points them toward Jesus. And you know, I think about us as a church. You know, we talk, how do we grow the church? How do we reach people? And you can buy a lot of books that can tell you how. I mean, increase technology, have better music, have a bigger coffee bar, have better coffee. You know, do the right events and the people will come. And there's value in that. But I think if Jesus were here, you would ask him the question, he would simply say, love. Love one another. I remember a few years ago hearing Dallas Willard say something about asked, how do you know when you're growing closer to Jesus? How do you know when you're maturing in your walk? And he answered, well, I know I'm growing in my faith if I wake up in the morning and I'm more loving than I was yesterday. Are you growing in your love? What does it look like for you to grow in your love? Because if we're followers of Jesus and growing in our walk with him, then that should be the badge that we wear. That should be the first thing that people recognize about us, our love.